Hi, Dr. Regan Robertson, CCO of Productive Dentist Academy here, and I have a question for you. Are you finding it hard to get your team aligned to your vision, but you know you deserve growth just like everybody else? That's why we've created the PDA Productivity Workshop. For nearly 20 years, PDA workshops have helped dentists just like you align their teams, get control of scheduling, and create productive practices that they love walking into every day. Just imagine how you will feel when you know your schedule is productive, your systems are humming, and your team is aligned to your vision. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. We can help. Visit productivedentist.com/workshop. That's productivedentist.com/workshop to secure your seats now.
We got, big poster boards of the expansion that we put around the office so they could show patients. And so they were involved with, this is where you are now, and this is what it's going to look like. And I don't know. We just have a good team. I mean, they I think saw the kind of the vision of where we were going, and just excited to kind of take it to that next level.
Welcome to the Everyday Practices Podcast. I'm Regan Robertson, and my co-host, Dr. Chad Johnson, and I are on a mission to share the stories of everyday dentists who generate extraordinary results using practical, proven methods you can take right into your own dental practice. If you're ready to elevate patient care and produce results that are anything but ordinary, buckle up and listen in.
Welcome to another episode of Everyday Practices Dental Podcast. I am your host, Regan Robertson, here with the effervescent Dr. Chad Johnson, who is not dentisting today. Welcome, Chad.
I am not. I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Well, I'm here with you and our very special guest. So you know the answer away is I'm amazing. That's my answer there.
The man of the West, Clint Euse. Clint, how you doing today,
Clint
man?
Euse.
Yes, of course.
Yes, the man of the West, huh? I've not been called that before, but I'm doing great.
Thought I'd start us off
with the man of the West. I like
it's your superhero name.
Yeah, okay. I'll go with it. Yeah, no, it's good to be with you guys. I'm excited. I always like hanging out with you guys.
It's been a while since we've had you on the podcast, and also for those who aren't aware of like kind of your background, where are you? And tell us kind of about your practice just in general. I mean, yeah.
So we practice out of Carson City, Nevada. So we're close to Tahoe. We're kind of northern Nevada, not down by Vegas. Want to make sure that's clear.
Right.
And we've got a larger practice. There's four of us, four dentists in the practice. So myself and my wife Kelly, we own the practice, and then we have two associates. One being was my previous partner, so it was actually his practice first. Ended up buying him out a couple years ago, and then he's still with the practice. And then we have a somewhat new associate, Dr. Matt. He's been with us for about a year and a half. We have just recently expanded. We went from 5,000 square feet to about 10,000 square feet. Kind of doubled the ops, and just actually got done with that project recently. So it's general practice, really, I think technology driven. We do a ton of like CAD CAM. We're just starting to bring in like 3D printing, all sorts of cool stuff. YOMI robots for implant placement. But really our bread and butter for the last, call it probably, 15, 20 years has really been more in the CAD CAM side of things.
Awesome. Very cool.
How many, you said you doubled ops. How many ops is that? Because I'm closing my eyes with you and I'm taking a journey virtually through your office.
So we went from 10 ops to 19 ops.
Yes. Okay. That gives me a really good, I think it's Dr. Jeff Buski now, but I think down in Granbury, they've got 18 ops. So that gives me a good sense of your size. I'm trying to picture 10,000 square feet. Like, what does that feel like?
That's why I built it with 19 is I wanted one more op than Buski. And so I was like, right. You know what, let's go 19 this time.
It goes all the way to 11.
Is it? So it's going to be actually 17 like general ops, and then 2 of them are going to be like surgical suites that are going to be more tailored to yes.
Does the YOMI stay stationary? Is it like a cow? Is it a computer on wheels that goes around? Like, how does it work?
You can move it around from op to op. It's a little bit it's kind of big and cumbersome to be moving it around. So how we're going to do it is we just building out a dedicated op just for that. If we need to move it, we can, but really I just want one big op that we can just keep. It's a little YOMI room, YOMI home. So
YOMI home.
Yeah.
All right. So fill me in. How much are you doing clinically? Because I can't imagine that that it's changed much. I know you and Kelly were splitting it, like a kind of a shift. Is that still the case? I mean, what's it look like administrative for you versus clinical?
Yeah. So clinical's 2 days a week. And then Kelly's same. She does 2 days a week. And we kind of did that intentionally. Just we have two boys that are, just like everybody, a lot of busy stuff going on. And so, so Kelly does Monday and Thursday, and then I do Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yep.
Clinically. And then, I would say I probably have Mondays are kind of my administrative day. I'd say I probably have a good half day of stuff on Mondays just to always kind of take care of running the business. And so that really hasn't changed, with the expansion. I was doing 2 days before the expansion. I think part of the reason for the expansion, was to not necessarily cut back, but one is we've had a ton of growth. Like we had a lot of people moving to the area. We couldn't get people in a reasonable amount of time. We have a lot of Californians coming in because we're right on the border of Nevada and California. And so, we just couldn't get people in.
Do you think that started around COVID time when the great moves were happening? Because I know like Idaho exploded. So people from the coast started moving inland a bit. Do you think that's when that change started, or did you notice it?
Yeah, that's when it like accelerated big time, is that there was, it was happening anyway, but like after that, it was just like mass influx of people. So, which is, great for business. And so, we kind of saw a need that we needed to expand the facility to do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it didn't really change things clinically for me. I think what it's going to do is open up just some more opportunity for my procedure mix, with things like the YOMI, doing kind of some all on X cases, those things that I couldn't do just because we were so busy. I was just busy doing general dentistry and was looking to do, something a little bit different than that, but really couldn't make that transition because we just didn't have the what do we do with our patients if we're not able to see them? So.
How long did this transition take to do the build out?
It was like construction. It was about a year. Well, maybe probably about a year. From that, I would say it was a 2-year project from kind of inception with planning. And we had a tenant that was in the building that still had I bought the building a couple of years ago, and so there was a tenant in there that had like 3 years left on their lease, and so we had to relocate them to a new space, and that took a lot of time. So it was probably a 2-year project. So,
was there anything that you wish you knew about it that you could have gone back? Was anything like frustrating to you that you went, oh shoot, like you learned along the way? That's a big build out, and I imagine there's some things that have cropped up during 2 years.
Yeah, it's just with construction, especially kind of post COVID. I knew that we were going to have some issues. It took a lot longer than we thought it would, just because of all the supply chain issues. And even just in this area, it's hard to find, the subcontractors and things. And so I think I'm not quite sure. I just knew what I was getting into, from a time frame and how much time it actually took to complete the project and how much time it took on my end to actually execute the project. So, I think looking back now, it would just be a little bit shift in mindset of like, all right, like you need to know what you're getting into here because it was a big project.
I'm glad you said that, because that's typically what I hear when anyone does a remodel, just even either in a business or in a home. It tends to take longer than anticipated. I've only built one house, not with my hands, but through a contractor. Right. And I think I don't know what the proper term is. Well, actually I do. They call them Karens, and I think that's offensive. So I'm not going to say that, but I definitely, if they weren't on the site and I was, driving by, I was like, where are you? So I was calling a lot. I was like, how does this work? And they were like, we're building other homes too, Regan. And I was like, well, but didn't we agree on this date, And so I learned a lot about what happens when the kitchen fixtures don't come in or the lumber's on back order or whatever.
Or I think the guys that were supposed to do the drywall, they just didn't show up for like 3 weeks. It was like, where are they? And then you call and they'd be like, oh no, we'll be there tomorrow. And then
and would they come tomorrow?
And then nothing. And then it was like, seriously. So, but it's just like, you have no control over some of those things. And I'm a person who likes to be in control. I like to know what's going on. I like things to be on schedule. So I think, just kind of that mindset of like, you know what, there's some things you just can't control.
So building this office, what's one or two examples of little fun additions, and it could be little or big or whatever, that you added in that were like almost perks or like a special bonus to you that was just different? I don't care if it's a rounded wall or you put in an extra plumbing of something or another, but there had to have been one or two things that made you go, you know what, let's splurge and do it that way, and it'll make me feel good.
Yeah, I would say, well, one thing for sure is we put in a whole like digital lab area. And so we now have like one spot where we have all of our milling machines, where we have all the 3D printers, the glazing ovens, all the technology is now like in one spot, and it's right outside of my office. So I basically just walk 2 feet, and can go in there and kind of play with all the stuff that I like to do. So that was a huge win. That was fun.
Yeah.
We built a huge team, like kind of our team, I guess our team room that's, that is gigantic, so we have a lot of space in there, kind of did it for the team, and two, for maybe some future, kind of over the shoulder courses and things that I might do in the office, where we have, TVs on the walls. And I know that's another thing. There's so many dang TVs in that place. I went crazy on TVs. We have like 3 TVs in the waiting room. We've got TVs all over the place. And so you walk in and there's so that's cool. But I would say the surgical suites, they have kind of a dedicated place for doing like sedation and the YOMI and those things. I would say the technology, kind of our technology room, and like at a team area would be the big ones.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
This feels like a Ferrari dealership to me in my head. If you're a dentist that's never seen one of if you don't have one yet, it would be a mission. If I was a dentist, it would be a mission to have a digital lab like that. I've seen them. They're amazing. I would just go hang out in there to watch what's going on. I think that's incredible. And I didn't know that you were planning on doing like over the shoulder type, or at least planning for that so that you'll have the space for that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, well, we'll see what that kind of turns into. I mean, we really didn't have the space to do it before, and now we do. And so I think as time goes on, that would be something that I would like to do. And I just wanted to make sure we had the option to do that. So
trademark this name,
Super.
Tahoe and Teeth, right there.
There it is. A man of the West. Would you call me the man of the West?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Man of the West.
Man of the West.
Tahoe and Teeth.
Yep. Thank you for these ideas, Chad.
The Tahoe
Chad,
and Teeth conference.
This is gold.
Yeah. Hey, Clint, you're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, Chad.
I was just sliding into one thing that I read about Clint, which was he is a member of the elite Spear Institute Faculty Club, which helps provide advanced education around cosmetic and complex restorative dentistry. But now we've got tooth and
Tahoe and Teeth.
Tahoe and Teeth.
I mean, it just makes it plain.
Yeah. Simple to the point. I like it.
So
elegance, approachable to the average man.
I mean, Pascal Magnier would be proud of that title. He would just be like, the essence of simplicity is important with teeth. So Clint, what did your team think of this change? Like, how's that changed their dynamic and their outlook? Or did it? I mean, like, what's going on with the team's headspace?
Yeah. Well, the team was awesome. One is that like this was like no small task. Like we had to shut down our waiting room like 6 weeks, because that got completely redone. So we had a temporary space, and I mean it was a whole deal. So like my team definitely sacrificed and got on board what we were doing, which was awesome. I mean, I think they saw the vision. I mean, the reception area has completely changed. It's like 4 times bigger than it was. It has a lot more like natural light, and so they were super excited about things like that. I mean, this is going to sound silly, but we in the break room is that we put in 2 like big bathrooms, they're not like stalls, they're like individual, floor to ceiling like bathrooms, and like so we have a huge team. So the team was like super excited about little things like having their own bathroom. I think it's cool though. It's cool to see because everyone's super proud of like what we did. Is like you can just feel. Because our existing area, that all got redone with, new paint, carpet, flooring, so the whole office now has like a brand new feel to it. And so I hear the conversations when I'm walking by hygiene, or I see people kind of giving tours of the office. And, I think that everyone was very proud of our office before, but there's a kind of a renewed sense of pride for like what we have and how it's different than I think most of the offices in our area. So it's cool. It's fun to see.
That is cool.
How did you communicate this with your team? Like when it was in its inception, how did you get like excited buy-in for them? I mean, the bathroom was a good one. That it is the little things. We spend so much time in the office. So those little things really do matter.
I mean, I think the buy-in was just they probably just felt like kind of the excitement on our end, and then once we got plans and once we got things, starting to get together, I mean, we shared all that with the team and we kind of walked through and we spent, I don't know, a morning kind of walking through like, this is what the reception area is going to look like. And we're blowing out this wall. And we're doing this. And, and so I think they felt like they were part of the process, not just kind of like having no clue what the end result was going to be like. And then we got, big poster boards of the expansion that we put around the office so they could show patients. And so they were involved with, this is where you are now. And this is what it's going to look like. And so, I don't know. We just have a good team. I mean, they I think saw the kind of the vision of where we were going and, just excited to kind of take it to that next level.
So you've been fully open with the expansion complete. Did you say for 3 months? Is that how long?
Well, so we did it in phases. So we had some operatories, like 7 of the new ops were done in like phase 1. And so we were able to use those probably back in October. And then the reception area just got finished up basically first of the year.
Wow.
This probably middle December is when we actually start using it. But so really the entire from having everything going, it's been, I don't know, a month that we've been really rocking and rolling in the new space.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Everyday Practices Podcast. Chad and I are here every week thanks to our community of listeners just like you, and we'd love your help. It would mean the world if you can help spread the word by sharing this episode with a fellow dentist and leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify. Do you have an extraordinary story you'd like to share or feedback on how we can make this podcast even more awesome? Drop us an email at podcast@productivedentist.com. And don't forget to check out our other podcasts from Productive Dentist Academy at productivedentist.com/podcasts. See you next week.